Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I'm going to cover one thing. I'm going to cover how one of the members of my school community and someone I work with, Graham Colmer, a friend of mine, has increased profitability for one of the accounts he manages in 1 week with one optimization. So just to give a little bit of a backstory, Graham works with an organization called the FBA Startup. And what I do for that organization is I help coach their team. So they have PPC mentors. And my role is to train their PPC mentors so that they can work with their students. And on one of these coaching calls, we were going through, it was fairly recently, it was a couple weeks ago, this coaching call we had. And we went over pretty much what I thought at this point is like the number one optimization to make, the number one Amazon PPC optimization to make when it comes to increasing profitability. And that is budget Amazon PPC budget optimizations. That for my clients and for my students as well, we are seeing that really dialing in on optimizing budgets has really helped with profitability. So on this call, I was teaching that. I was teaching that budget optimization method. And huge thank you to Graham for having faith in this optimization and allowing me to pause 60 campaigns. I think it was 61 campaigns or something like that he told me. Over 60 campaigns. So paused over 60 campaigns. After I did an analysis, I looked at Sellerboard, which is an analytics tool, which allows me to look at profit and profit margin. And then I looked at the Amazon advertising console. And using those two data sets, I said to myself, what optimization needs to be done here? And then after going through an analysis, I decided that the optimization that needs to be done is to pause certain campaigns based on certain criteria. And had a call 2 days ago, and Graham updated me on the results, which I'm so happy he did because I would have forgotten. So let's dive into those results. All right. Oh yeah, here's Graham, FBA Startup. That's the organization that I'm working with. All right, cool. All right, let's do this. So let's just do a before and after. So I want to just let you know that this is Sellerboard data. It's a tool that I use to measure profitability. And so this was 7 days before we made the budget optimizations. We actually made the budget optimizations on the 9th here, and we could see that profit. So this blue bar is net profit. So we see it go up on the day that we actually made those adjustments and paused those 61 campaigns. So we see the profit go up like crazy. Pretty good, because you can see here's the legend right here. This is called a legend, which allows you to tell you which metrics are what, and we can see the blue is that, and then the units sold actually goes up. So this was before we made the adjustments. We had 3,000. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before we made the adjustments. All right, $3,515. 196 in net profit, 5.59% margin, $600 in advertising cost, and a real ACOS. So in Sellerboard, real ACOS means tacos. So tacos is a more familiar term to everyone. So this is the tacos of 17%. After we made these adjustments, so after we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's funny. I used 8 days before and 7 days after accidentally. That's my bad. So actually I added on a day here. So these numbers would probably look better if I added on another day or reduced a day. So that's my bad. Everyone makes mistakes, right? But even with 1 day less, this is what makes, me looking at 1 day less actually makes this even more impactful, because before it was 8 days and now it's 7 days. Sales went up from, 35.15 to 49.52. Advertising cost went from $599 to $473. So we decreased ad cost and increased sales. Decreased ad cost, increased sales. Net profit went from 196 to 687, and then our margin went from 5.59% to 13.89%. So we see a huge jump in total sales, total profit, and margin. All three metrics that I wanted, the two metrics that I really wanted to improve were profit and profit margin. But to see that sales went up as well is really cool. No other changes were made. And, my hypothesis is that what happened here was generally what I'm seeing that happened is when we got rid of those. So Graham had an account cap on the account, which I think is smart. He had an account cap basically saying, hey, we don't want to spend more than this much money, which makes sense because if you want to have a certain taco, so you don't want to overspend, you count the cap the count. But what happened was we had all these campaigns, those 61 campaigns that we paused, they were spending money. So by pausing those poor performing 61 campaigns, what happened? It redirected the traffic to those other campaigns. So that extra spend that was going there is getting redirected to those better performing campaigns. So that's my hypothesis as to why we'd see a lift in total sales. But I also want to zoom out and let you know why this is really impactful. Is because we made one change. So when I look at like any skill set, including Amazon PPC, I always say to myself, the goal isn't to just go in and be like, make a bunch of changes for no reason. The goal is to find out the most important levers to pull to get results the fastest. Like in this situation, after doing the diagnosis, I knew there was one thing I could do. And that came after almost a decade of skill of years, about 8 years in this industry. But I have the skill set to be able to say, hey, we don't need to touch this. We don't need to touch that. This is the one thing that we need to adjust to get results the fastest. And that comes through experience and looking at accounts. Let me make this bigger because now I'm not really looking at the screen. But that skill set of being able to go in and do an analysis and say, this is the one thing we need to do. That's the key, man. That is the key to getting better results. It's not being like, I need to do this and this and this and this just for no reason, but it needs to be results driven, and you need to find out the most important levers to pull. Because someone from the outside might just be like, oh, well, all you did was make one adjustment. But that one adjustment made a huge impact. And results are the most important thing. So it doesn't matter if I make 100 changes or if I make one change. What matters is the result that I get from it. You know what I mean? So you're not looking to do 100 things. Now, if you need to do 100 things to get better results, well, then do those 100 things. But you're really looking for those key levers to pull, right? Those key optimizations to make that can get results like that. That's the goal. And it only comes through analytics. Sitting down and looking at looking at different data sets and knowing how these data sets work with each other, and knowing how does sales tie into this? How does profit tie into this? How does ACoS tie into this? How does PPC how does ad spend tie into this? Like tying those data points together and knowing how they work together, and then saying, okay, we know based on the analysis that we made that this one thing that we do has a high probability of success. Not 100%. There aren't many 100% in this world, but high probability. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video. Awesome results. Huge thank you again to Graham for having the faith and trusting that the optimizations that I made would help. And all right, everyone. Until if you want to hold on. All right, before we wrap it up real quick, got to do my little promo stint. All right, if you're interested in joining our Amazon PPC automations program, where we meet up and we talk about stuff like this, then I will put it in the link. I'll put it in the description. It's school. Let me go here. It's our school community. I'll put the description in the link. We have an about page and stuff like that. So I'll pop it in the link in the description. And if you're interested in a free automation, head over to ppcamsaccelerator.com. That'll give you a free Amazon PPC automation as well. But the big key to this one, where would you learn what I just taught you is on our mastermind meetings that we have every week, because we talk about best practices and what we're doing to get results the fastest. All right, everyone, until next time.